The turns out to be not so crazy guy on the left in this picture sprained his ankle, but Mr. Aw Shucks strained his ego. Somehow the question, what time is the Super Bowl? What time is the Super Bowl? What time is the Super Bowl? Turned out to be more interesting than the game. At the Super Bowl party I attended, I was literally the only person rooting for the Seattle Seahawks. In last night's Super Bowl, this made me less than popular, but also made a quick exit to get back to the business of influency easy. I've had Super Bowl influency on my mind, and no, our spell checker has not broken down. Unlike my rant a year ago about the way the National Football League manages the Super Bowl trademark, today's article is about something you can control, although it's getting a lot harder to do so. Search engine optimization, a service we no longer provide on a standalone basis, is still a viable and important part of the influency equation, but Google's making it important that you think different about SEO. Just before the big game, I came across this piece at Mashable about the question, what time is the Super Bowl? And it's interesting for reasons that go beyond the Mashable post being nothing more than an unabashed copy of a full article from The Atlantic. It speaks to how easy search engine optimization once was, how SEO became more difficult over time, and the change in tactics that became necessary for effective optimization as Google got smarter about engineering what works for people trying to game their system. For example, the repeated use of a word or phrase you wanted to rank for was more effective a few years ago than it is now, and while Google's always seen Super Bowl, capital letters, and Super Bowl, small letters, and Super Bowl, one capital, one small, and Super Bowl the other way around as identical, there was a time when SUPER space BOWL and SUPERBOWL, I left out the E, registered with Google as different things. Has Google decided that the space character doesn't matter? No. Google's gotten smarter. And the fact that people sometimes spell the name for the NFL's big event as Super Bowl, no space, even though that's technically incorrect, is one of about a gazillion little factoids that are now built into the Google search algorithm, and even that isn't the point. This morning, I searched Google for both what time is the Super Bowl and what time does the Super Bowl start? And while the otherwise huge pool of 869 million possible matches for what time does the Super Bowl start is dwarfed by the nearly 3 billion search matches for what time is the Super Bowl, the only thing that matters is that when you ask Google either question, they give you the answer directly with a bunch of context, and you never even need to go beyond Google's own answer to the question. This is a boon for users. The right information is there when you ask for it. But it also points out a bit of a problem. Google's not in the search business anymore. They're in the content marketing business. Of course, Google uses search to drive traffic to the content they produce or sell or give away or whatever you perceive them as doing for you when you aren't sure of the Super Bowl's starting time. But that's the reason SEO is no longer viable as a standalone process. Search engine optimization still matters, but having content behind your search modeling efforts is where the real action is. Business, Super Bowl style, has come a long way since this story about the Super Bowl, Kim Kardashian, Britney Spears, and Paris Hilton. All you need to do is get a handle on how those changes and your business match up, and you're golden. And the simplest path to understanding your influency? Start by clicking here. I'm the Answer Guy, and I'll be back.